The Trump legal situation. Trump had a $454 million bond that was going to be reportedly needed to pay today. That has been lowered to a $175 million bond in what is a huge win for Trump. Trump has answered and said he will pay that bond in cash, which is a massive hit to all the people out there who thought somehow that these cases were going to bankrupt Donald Trump. What you are seeing, though, and I think this is a really big and important lesson, it's one thing to get angry about what you see in the country. And I understand some of you out there watching me right now, I understand if you're a Trump supporter, why you can be furious at the precedent being set here that Trump is maybe going to be put in prison if he were convicted, and they're trying to bankrupt him, and they're trying to ruin him because of his political beliefs. Let's not shade any of this. That's exactly what's going on. And that is wrong and is an awful precedent, and it's truly never happened before in the course of American political history, which is why everybody out there who's like, can you imagine what will happen if Trump wins? He may try to put his chief political rivals in prison, and he may use the Department of Justice as an agent to do what he believes should happen as his own kangaroo court in the country. I'm like, do you realize what's happening already, right? That's what Democrats have decided to do in Atlanta and in South Florida and in Washington, D.C. and in New York City, where there's been evidently a trial date set for April 15th in the Alvin Bragg case. That happened today, too. But I think what is maybe the most interesting story here is Trump was banned by Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, Etsy. Like, I don't even know all of the different social media platforms, but they all colluded and banned Trump from being at YouTube, being able to be on any of their platforms in the wake of January 6th. And I think that was wrong, and I think it was an awful precedent. I don't think there's enough attention being paid, though, to sometimes when you see things that you know are clearly wrong, you can be angry, but I would also encourage all of you to be open to taking business opportunities that are out there. I disagree with a lot of the identity politics and the left-wing nature of sports media in America. I could have just been angry about it. I could have railed about it some. Maybe that ends up with me being successful. Maybe it doesn't. Instead, I started OutKick. And I built a big media brand, which Fox now owns. The excesses on the left of ESPN and everybody else that I saw basically in sports media created a massive business opportunity for OutKick. And we have driven right into the heart of that opportunity, and now OutKick has gotten huge. We have a massive audience across TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, online, on all YouTube platforms, like big audience watching all of our stuff every single day. Millions and millions of people. We've put out the data on it. You can go check it out for yourself. Now Fox owns the company. I don't have to work anymore if I don't want to. I saw things that I disagreed with happen in sports, and I started a business. And I had what was, for me, tremendous amount of success. I'm a public school kid from Nashville. I never thought I would have $10 million in my life, and I'm a $100 millionaire now. My wife gets mad, by the way, when I say that. She's like, don't tell people all that. Like, I think it's important to share success stories because I want you to all be successful too. I want you to make a lot of money. I want you to be the agents that own your future ability to make a living. I want all of you to have a measure of success that I have and to have financial independence. I'm a huge capitalist. I want everybody, white, black, Asian, Hispanic, to be as successful as possible, men, women, gay, straight, whatever. I want all of you to be rich. Trump saw what happened to him when he got banned by all of these companies, and he had smart advisors come to him, and they said, we should start our own social media platform. And I want to hit you with this right now. Digital World acquisition is up $13 today to over $50 a share. The stock is up nearly 37% today alone. The word is that Truth Social, is going to merge with DWAC, Digital World Acquisition, in a SPAC merger. The new stock will trade under the symbol DJN, which is Donald J. Trump, his initials. And Trump's stake in the new company, based on current prices, is going to be worth over $3 billion. Now, like any stock valuation, it can change on a day-to-day basis. But Trump's value in that company is potentially going to make him this week more money than he made in his entire career. And unlike real estate, where it's really uncertain what the value of a building might be, depends on what interest rates are, depends on who buyers in the market might be. All of you understand this if you own a home. You might think that your house is worth $500,000, and then you put it on the market and somebody might offer $600,000 or they might offer $400,000. There's a wide range of what a home could end up selling for. Trump now is going to have over $3 billion in liquid assets. So all the people out there who tried to argue Trump is broke, we need to cancel Trump, have actually led to Trump starting a new company and making more money potentially this week than he has made in his entire career beforehand. Now, I'm not a billionaire. I'm not close to a billionaire. I'm a 100 millionaire. People say, you're like, I saw somebody the other day, I got an email. They said, you're not worth what you claim because if you were, you would say that you're a billionaire. I was laughing kind of about that. Like, if you have $100,000, you're not almost a millionaire. You're 1/10 of the way to being a millionaire. I've got 100 million. I'm 1/10 of the way to being a billionaire. I'm not close to being a billionaire. Some people just don't understand basic math. And so Trump may not have been worth as much money total in his life as he is going to make this week. But you don't have to be Trump. You don't have to be me. You don't have to make $100 million. You don't have to make $1 billion. There may be an opportunity out there. You might be making $50,000 a year, busting your ass. Learn the business where you're working and turn it into an opportunity to make six figures. When I started OutKick in 2011, my hope was to make $100,000 a year from it. I said, if I can make $100,000 a year writing every article that I want, not having to worry about taking care of my family, if I can make $100,000 a year, I would sign up for it. I think I've said this before publicly, but if I haven't, in 2013, I probably would have signed a 10-year deal paying me $300,000 a year for the next 10 years. And in 2013, I probably would have been ecstatic to sign that deal because I would have been like, man, that's $3 million over the life of my contract. My family will be completely taken care of. I can have an incredible lifestyle in Nashville. I would have sold myself way lower than I was worth. Maybe I would have said I want 500. Maybe I would have said I want 600. I would have never even come close to what I actually made if I had been making financial decisions in the future in 2013. My point to all of you is learn business, and if you're frustrated by what you see in the marketplace, if Bud Light makes you upset because they are out there saying that trans people are heroes, or if Planet Fitness has got you upset, or Disney, or whatever company, it's one thing to be upset, and certainly you can choose to spend your money as you see fit. Encourage all of you to do that. The real way to get revenge is to create your own companies and your own ability to make money off of the failures that you see in the larger marketplace. Be an entrepreneur. Be a capitalist. Don't just get angry. Do what Donald Trump did. Do what I did on a much smaller scale. Find an opportunity to create a business that you own equity in and build something new and make yourself fabulously wealthy because of the nincompoops you see out there in the larger marketplace who are missing huge segments of the audience out there. That's the lesson to me of this Trump Truth Social success. Nobody's talking about it. Trump this week is potentially going to make more money from Truth Social than he would have made in his entire business career. And he's doing it because Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Etsy, YouTube, you name a social media company, they all banned him. I don't think he would have founded his own social media company and made billions of dollars, but for the decision that those companies all made to ban him. Don't get mad. Don't just get mad. Anger is an emotion. It's not a plan. Put in place a plan. I always say this. Anger is an emotion. It's not a strategy. It's not a plan. Use your anger to fuel a plan and make yourself fabulously wealthy so that you don't have to rely on other people to make a living. That's what entrepreneurs do. That's what capitalists do. That's what people who see opportunities do. And this ties in. I saw this story. We played some clips on Clay and Buck just a little bit ago. Ronna McDaniel has now been hired at NBC to be a political analyst. And I saw where Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski are losing their minds. And Chuck Todd on Meet the Press is losing his mind. He's saying, what in the world are they doing? They're hiring Ronna McDaniel. They have to reconsider. This is an outrage. This is indefensible. They're so unhappy that Ronna McDaniel was hired by NBC to go on their political coverage and just give her opinion that they're demanding she be fired. Now, I think I can reliably say this. I don't think anybody at iHeart, I don't think anybody at Fox News, I don't think anybody at Fox Sports could disagree. I have worked and still do work at 3 different big media companies in my career. iHeart, Fox Sports, and Fox News. Love working at all 3, like my bosses at all 3. I've got nothing negative to say about any 3 of those places. In my entire media career, I have never even thought to demand that someone else inside of any of those 3 massive companies not be able to have a job sharing their opinion on the air as they see it. Now, I've argued that new people should be hired. I certainly at OutKick have had hiring and firing authority over the years. So I've made a decision as an executive, okay, we're going to hire this guy. Okay, we're going to fire this guy. We're going to hire this girl. We're going to fire this girl. That's the job of a media executive. But inside of my big media companies where I've worked, we've got, I think, the biggest show that iHeart has, either us or Sean Hannity, biggest radio show in the country. I did daily television for Fox Sports. I've done college football for a decade plus for them. I go on, I think it's fair to say, every single Fox News show. Fox News is the biggest cable audience in the entire country. There are people at all 3 of those places that have very different opinions than me. I've never even thought of saying publicly that somebody should be fired at a company that I work for because I don't agree with the things that they've said. And I've never even said it privately. Yet Ronna McDaniel, who's not even that conservative, I mean, we get criticisms when we would put her on Clay and Buck. I like Ronna, but it's not like she's a far right-wing ideologue. Yet NBC News loses its mind. They hired Jen Psaki. They hired George Stephanopoulos. Like, this is not uncommon. People come right out of politics and go straight into the prognostication game. Happens all the time. Nobody complains. iHeart's the biggest audio company in the world. They have people with far left-wing opinions. They have people with far right-wing opinions. They got people with every opinion under the sun. That's what the business should do. If you're the biggest audio company in the world, your goal should be to cover every segment of the population. Give them things that they like. More power to them. iHeart employs a lot of people who have said awful things about me on their shows. I would never even think to demand that iHeart not employ somebody. That's where we are, though, in the culture. Note that on the right, I can't think of anybody who said this person shouldn't be allowed to share their opinion. Even if I disagree with it, I believe, it used to be a very liberal take, the answer to speech I disagree with is more speech. So iHeart employs a ton of people who would disagree with me on every political issue under the sun. Good for them. Fox News has employed left-wing analysts. Fox Sports has all sorts of people that disagree with me on a regular basis. I would never even dream of doing what Mika and Joe and Chuck Todd all did at NBC, which is basically throw a fit because they're hiring somebody who might advocate for Donald Trump on air. That's not a sign of strength. That's a sign of weakness. The reason why Gavin Newsom got wrecked by Ron DeSantis is because the left's ideas are flabby and not defended because they have a rigged media ecosystem protecting them. The right knows what the left thinks. It's impossible not to. The left has no idea what the right thinks. And as a result, they actually are fighting against all sorts of issues that aren't true. People say, well, January 6th like the 2020 election wasn't rigged. Donald Trump lost fair and square. Okay. Every single person on the right has heard that argument ad infinitum. How many people on the left know that the Very Fine People Charlottesville hoax is 100% unreal? How many people on the left know that no police officers died on January 6th, that the only person who died that day was Ashley Babbitt? People on the left believe a huge variety of untruths. The difference between the left and the right is people on the right believe things that may be untrue, but they hear the argument against what they believe. They don't live in the total isolationist bubble. People on the left have no idea what I think. They legitimately, like, that's why I'm characterized as a far right-wing ideologue. But I'll sit down and talk with anybody. And I think I would win every argument because I've challenged my own thinking. I think I can make left-wing arguments better than I can make right-wing arguments. By the way, I think I am the most average, sane, normal person on the planet. I don't even think I'm right-wing, far right-wing, some crazy person. I think I'm where about 75 or 80% of Americans are on almost every issue. But because I'm not far left-wing, I'm characterized as a right-wing zealot. It's crazy. But I think it's important to contemplate who actually is in favor of speech, debate, the marketplace of ideas, and if you see opportunity, seize it. It's one thing to be angry, but angry is not a strategy. Look at what Trump did with Truth Social. Look at what I did with OutKick. Look at what countless companies out there are doing. Take advantage of opportunity in the marketplace. If customers are being ignored, if they're being sidelined, if they're being disrespected, that means there's a marketplace out there. Go make it yours. Make it your success story. I'm getting older. I may not have a lot more of successes. A lot of you are much younger than me watching or listening to this right now. I want you to be the future. Create the future that you want to exist. Manifest it. Don't get just angry. Use that anger to recognize opportunity, and hopefully thanks to the miracle of America, make yourself fabulously wealthy through entrepreneurism and capitalism, which is the single greatest asset that exists in American life today.